airwaves again. Another beautiful day on Intellectual Radio. Let's go. You already know. And you know today's show is always brought to you by True Essence. We are a unique spiritual boutique located online. You can check me out on my IG. That's Brandy 3Ys J underscore. And just check the link in the bio. Look at the website. Look at some spiritual tools that we have, as well as organic tools and products to get you along the way. Chicago, stand up worldwide. What's going on? I love you guys for rocking with us. If you guys are tuning in live with us today on Intellectual Radio, make sure you tune in and give me a call at 708-223-8953. And of course, again, IG, that's Brady 3YJ underscore. So last week we had some great content. We spoke about how we speak with our spirit guides, and we spoke about a lot of great things as far as communication and those different forms of communication. Today, I kind of just want to give a quick synopsis of what we spoke about in the past year, right? And a review of who we are in our divinity and just the body mechanics, right? And how they work. So starting first with DNA, we're diving right back in. So this is just a review, guys. So all of which that I'm talking about, we already went over, but we just want to make sure before we get into these higher levels of conversations and topics that we have like a great foundation of what the coreness of who we are and our genetics and how they play a part in our ascension, right? So first starting with DNA. So DNA, again, is a storage medium. It is considered to be like a hard drive, which stores billions of data, right? From our ancestors, even to our current selves. So everything that's taken place and that has taken place is within our DNA. Our DNA tells a story. It is a walking, we are rather a walking, living USB drive. That is your DNA, right? That is the blood that is flowing through you and to you. That is your connection. DNA can affect our current lives as well as our past lives and how we see the world, right? Unhealed DNA can tamper with the karmic energy, our epigenetic memories. And remember, we spoke about that. So let's briefly talk back about epigenetic memories, right? So epigenetic memories are passed down through the DNA. It stores up to 14 generations. Let's say that again, rewind. It stores up to 14 generations of memory, both good, bad, and indifferent. This has both a positive and yet a negative connotation on our DNA because whatever is stored, whether that's trauma, whether that's good things, whether that's intellect, all of that is stored in your genetics. And getting into certain sunlights and frequencies can unlock the genetic code, which is your epigenetic memories, right? This is why they have to keep you dulled down with the food that you're eating and vibrating low with the frequencies that are around you, because they know that if you are in higher frequencies, which is higher levels of consciousness, your DNA can be unlocked. And in your DNA is codes, it's light codes, it's information. It is your epigenetic memory, your memory of your ancestors, the memory of everything. So you're not just taking the good, you're taking the bad, you're taking all of it on. But to unlock that, that's a special, unique thing to be able to do. And this is why they have us locked down in this so-called matrix, right? So epigenetic is the study of how our behavior and environment changes the molecular structure of our DNA. Again, this works through the energetic field. It's all around you. The energy that's all around you, that is the energetic field. Energy does not dissolve, right? It does not. We're going to tap into energy soon, but let's kind of wrap it up about DNA and just understanding how it works, right? So DNA can be programmed. And in that programming, it is programming essentially your subconscious mind. And how do you program your DNA? Through some of the tools that we speak about on this show, such as sun gazing, eating the right way, food, breathing the right way, meditation, affirmations. All these great tools are great ways to help retrain the DNA and also program the subconscious mind. Every time you tap into these higher levels of frequency, understanding that you are being born again, this is the redemption. This is what the that Christ energy, that crystallized energy. Christ energy is crystallized energy. It is you being crystallized and magnetized to the highest form of yourself. When you kill the ego, well, not rather kill the ego, but when you suppress the ego and you teach the ego and you train the ego, then there's a redemption in that. And in that redemption, there's a healing in that. And there's clarity that comes along with that. And in that clarity, you not only see your current life past regressions, but you also see your previous life past regressions. Oh, yeah. I know that might be a little bit much, but you've been here before. Don't think that this is your first merry-go-round. It's not. You've been here before. And in those experiences that you gather in this galactic experience is a code. And in that code, they call it Akashic Records. Ooh, yes, Akashic Records. Let's go. Akashic Records is a collection of universal events that starts everything from emotions to your intentions to everything, both past, current, and present. Because understand that everything is happening simultaneously. When you get into higher dimensions, which is higher levels of frequencies and consciousness, there's no such thing as time. Time is constructed by man within this 3D dimension. When you get into 5D, 6D, and other consciousness, you see that there is a thing called simultaneously. Everything is happening together. There's no past, present, or future. Everything is all happening at once. So in this time, being in this earth, we think that there's a past, there's a present, and there's a future. But no, they're all happening together. And guess what? Everything is being recorded. And what is that being recorded? Your Akashic records, what your ancestors experienced, what you experienced in previous lifetimes, and what you're experiencing currently now. All of that is in your energy field, and all of that is data. It's like when you watch Neo in the Matrix and they had all those numbers are data. When you go into any computer, anybody who's into engineering and things of that nature, you're talking about numbers and coding and things of that nature. All of you are a walking USB. You are better than any Apple MacBook that you could ever fathom. Understand that and understand that. So your whole life experiences, your ancestors' life experiences is all encoded in these Akashic records. It gives you somewhat of a blueprint as to who you are and where you are going on a galactical level, right? So understanding these things are very important. So now that we have a understanding of the Akashic records, our DNA, and how that works, let's tap into energy, right? Because everything is made up of energy, and we talk about this energetic field, but this energetic field is our consciousness, our past and present, or what we perceive to be past and present memories, which is energy that we send out within the field, right? So energy is a quantitative property that is transferred to a body or a physical system, recognizable in the performance of work and or form of heat and light. Listen, heat and light. Energy is a quantity that can be converted into different forms, but it cannot be destroyed. Wow. Now look at how I said all of that. Everything about energy is light, is sound, is quantitative. It can convert. It could do all these different things. It could both be physical or it could be in it has all these different properties to it. But one thing it says consistently is that it cannot be destroyed. It can't. And you are made up of energy. The TV that you're watching or the screen that you're watching is made up of energy. It's just vibrating so low that you can actually physically touch it. So it's actually matter. But before it was matter, it actually was a thought. It was in the consciousness, it was in the ethers, it was in the airways. And you took that consciousness and you broke it all the way down to where it came to matter. So now you physically have it, but it's still energy. You get it? Your thoughts are energy. Whatever you think it becomes, you become it, it becomes you. So it's a thought form that leads to physical manifestation. This is the last supper, if you will. Ooh, didn't know that. This is the last supper, if you will. Everything above this ground is higher levels of consciousness, and we gotta arrive. We came down to this experience, to this earth, to evolve and to understand and to understand from higher levels and even lower levels. Yes, you signed up for this in your soul contract. Yes, we'll go over that. But to understand that you have never not existed and there is no such thing as death. I know that's hard to fathom, and we have touched on this thing quite a few times on the show, but I have to drill that in because now we're about to go into higher levels, and I'm taking you guys with me. Just as Creator took me on this journey, so are you going with me? And we have to understand in this journey, there is no such thing as death. There is a physical death, yes. And no, there is no wings that's going to come, and no angels that's going to come from the sky. Not you have to know you will always exist. It just matters on what level do you choose to evolve on and be on in this next experience based off of what you personally need. You are God manifested in the flesh. Yes, you are not the source creator, no, but you are a part of that experience. That makes you infinite. That makes you a non-ether being. Yes, I got to tell you that. You got to get that to the core of you. Don't be scared of death. Don't be scared of the next experience. It is just that, an experience. Your loved ones and the people that you really rocking with, which is your soul pod. That's a part of your soul contract. Your soul pod is a part of your soul contract because you guys are connected beyond this physical experience. You got to know this stuff. You got to understand that. So that's a good thing about energy, understanding what you are made of. This thing never dissolves. It never destroys. It can only transform or transmute. That's all. It cannot dissolve. So now that we have a better understanding of energy and the unlimited energy that is around us and what unifies us to this energy, which is the network, the internet, the ethernet. We are the ether beings connected to the ethernet, the network of God, the source. Source is a network. We are tethering to the ethernets. Get it? How this connection? You can go and Google anything, but guess what? Google is really your brain, your mind, your pineal gland being, your consciousness being transformed, being reborn again. All of that, you see how all of this is connected? All of it is connected. Energy carry waves, which is light, which is photons. This is why sun gazing is so important, because when you're sun gazing and you're eating properly, getting your H2O and your H230, which is your fruit, that's going to hydrate you on a higher level. Yes, you got to have all of that. Getting some sunlight. Yes, the earth is about to heat up. The sun is heating up. Yes, you feel it, and you're going to feel it even more in the summer. Get into the sun, get those photons going, unlock the DNA, unlock certain codes that's within you. It's important to know that. So let's remember your divinity. Let's remember that everything that's within your cell is a code, and you are sacred. It's important to be focused on who you are and what the reality that you want to have. Magnetize yourself to that ideal, and it will magnetize itself to you. Paradigms, again, can be created through your conscious and your subconscious mind. That's why we spoke about paradigms. So we got to go quickly over that briefly. Paradigms. We spoke about it. Let's get back into it. Our mental programs. They are conditionings that happen almost exclusive. They have almost exclusive control over your habitual behavior, over your habits, right? So paradigms creates the world that you're living in based off of what you perceive, based off of what you believe things to be. They're mental programmings, and they stay in control. And if a paradigm stays in control, you can almost best believe it's going to be hard, if not at all, to change anything, because it is the subconscious mind. And if we haven't noticed already, the subconscious mind is the hardest to reprogram because it is the most stubborn. But at that same time, once you reprogram it, it is the most fruitful. It is the most bountiful. It allows you to manifest great things. So it's about programming it. So in order to program the subconscious mind, we have to understand that one that creates the reality, which is the paradigm. But first, we got to know the distinction between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So let's get into it. The conscious mind is a thinker. It is the will of the ego. It makes choices and give commands. It is the rest of the energy based off of our desired actions and the things that we want. This energy or this conscious mind can store over 2,000 bits of information per second. Yes, this conscious mind, which is the ego, can store over 2,000 bits of information per second. Now, let's get into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has the ability to record and to store and recall every experience, event, and emotion. Everything. The subconscious mind can process over 4 billion bits of information per second. Oh, let's say that again. The subconscious mind can process over 4 billion information in a second. So your subconscious mind is way more, 10 times a billion more powerful than your conscious mind, right? And this is what creates your paradigm, right? This is what creates your reality. This is what creates your heaven or your hell. That's why we got to what? Choose wisely. Remember, you are crystallized imagination. You are Christ's energy. You are made up of atoms and cells. On top of that, you have neuromelanin, which makes you a carbonated being, which makes you a non-ether being. Yes, you are connected and highly favored. You are what they fear, and you are also what they admire. Don't you forget that. Your divinity code is within every aspect of you. It is the true essence of who you are. Yes, it truly is. The best way to me to maintain a divinity code within you is to first practice true love for yourself and others, having confidence in who you are, eating healthy, breathing properly, having order and clarity within your life. The other things we always speak about is meditation, sun gazing, all those great things. Yes, all of those things are essential when you're talking about keeping that divinity code on fleek. Let's go. Keeping that divinity code on fleek. We had to, because we are constantly changing and everything around us and changing and our hormones and the environment, and paying attention to how our body works, how the pineal gland works, how our chakra energy, how our energy centers work. Like we spoke about the chakras, all of that, understanding that, getting in tune with that, not only gets you a level up when it comes to the real game of life, but it also gives you a great intimacy with the creator, because now you understand how your body works and what works for your body and what doesn't. And that comes from food to people to energy to everything. This connection and can be deepened. The further you dig in it, the further you can go. And it's a blanket that will shield you as you navigate through this life. Because in the respects of learning about your body, your brain, and the energy that's around you, you are essentially paying homage to the creator, paying homage to your ancestors, paying homage to the people who have walked and sacrificed before you. You are giving respect because you are honoring that energy that's prevalent. So we're gonna be concluding soon, but I definitely want y'all just get a tool with these basic skill sets that we're talking about. But before we dive into an exercise I developed for you guys, and I can't wait for us to talk about it, I just want to quickly go over the last few things. And so we spoke about the epigenetics, we spoke about DNA, we spoke about energy. Now let's get into some of these mind components, which is first the pineal gland. A lot of us have heard about the pineal gland, which is the third eye, which is the eye of Horus, the all-seeing eye. We all, I guess, say it in different terms, in different ways, but keep in mind that the pineal gland is about the size of a grain of rice. It's the size of a grain of rice. This is why you have to have faith as a mustard seed. That's where that terminology kind of come from. The pineal gland is about the size of a grain of rice, and it sits at the inside of a brain, at the peak of the brain, better known as the temple of God. This is a gland. This is a real actual gland that's actually inside your brain. You can go and look it up. Anywhere, go look it up. This gland is known really to be the seat of the soul. Yes, they call it the seat of the soul because this is where you get into higher levels of consciousness. Those who have had their awakening and their energies are on fleek, and their kundalini energy is rising. 9 times out of 10, their pineal gland is flickering and it's opening. That's the cobra that you see when you go in the ancient temples, right? When you look at the ancient temples and all the pharaohs, they had those Egyptian hats, and the cobra was open and flickering. That was a representation of the pineal gland being open, which is divine consciousness. It's the crown chakra, right? So the pineal gland, it produces hormones like melatonin, which regulates sleep, walking cycles, and so much more. The pineal gland also releases super antioxidants within the body, promoting all type of neuro things within the mind. It also has a lot of great benefits for your sleep and for your loved ones. Just as we talked last week about dopamine, right? How dopamine is just so dope. Like having dopamine actually something secretes within the brain that allows you to be happy and to actually embrace and embrace everything life has for you. So just understanding the mechanics of our mind and how it works is literally everything. So we're going to be wrapping it up. We talked about the pineal gland, we talked about the benefits of it. We also are speaking about our body and how it works as it pertains to us evolving, understanding that you are God created in the flesh. You are not source. Okay, there's one source, but you are most certainly so close and so you and so uniquely you that you have to not have any self-limiting beliefs. Any self-limiting beliefs, you have to cast that away. Yes, you have to cast these things away and to do these exercises to be able to shape the paradigm. So, as I stated, I'm going to give you guys an exercise to conclude with. So, I have one exercise I would like for you to practice. And this is again for shaping your paradigm and kind of removing any kind of self doubt and self belief. And then also with this is knowing the origins of these self limiting thoughts. Because, like, knowing that they exist, but not knowing where they come from. So, it's like, it's one thing to know that they exist, but knowing what's rooted in that existence. Why do I think that way? Why is it like that? It's very important. So listen up. I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions. I would like for you to write a brief answer to one or more of the following questions. All right. Now, of course, this is for your own personal view. You can keep this in your journal, and hopefully by this time, you guys all got your own journals. I love scribing; it's everything to me. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Write it down and just go over it when you have time. Right. So the first question, starting with, if you suddenly found an unlimited amount of money in your bank, what would you do differently in life? If you found just money galore and nobody knew where it came from, it was all legit. It was no nothing fool with it. It was just legit yours. What would you do different in your life? Write that down. Move it along. What would your dream body look like? Yes. Would you do anything different if you had this ideal figure? So, what would your dream body look like? And would you be any different? So, before y'all answer that, I'm going to say for some of us, including me, if I had certain things that I want, I'd be a little different. I don't want to say like crazy different, but I definitely, maybe switch a little harder, maybe smile a little more. Who knows? So, everybody has like an ideal dream body, right? And this is more than just an egotistical level. It has a deeper purpose in answering this, right? So answer this question. What would you do different if you had that ideal figure? Move it along. Last question is, imagine that you are living your dream life. What would that look like? Ooh, yes, imagine it. Breathe it. What does it look like? How would you feel differently about waking up every day? How would you feel differently about waking up every day having that dream life? So once you have completed answering these questions, take a look back and reflect back on that when you have time. And ask yourself just questions. It's not for condemning yourself, it's just getting to the root of it. What's stopping you from achieving that desired motion now? Is it really money that we're seeking, or is it deeper? Is it truly a perfect body, or is it something different? Asking yourself these questions and really get into the root of it, what's preventing you from living that now, is very important to your evolution. and remind yourself of the grace that's been bestowed. So these are just some exercises that I always, again, like to leave with you guys. And I just love sharing information with you guys. I love that we are vibrating high. And as always, you guys know we're going to be talking again next week on Intellectual Radio. If you guys want to tune in live with me again, give me a call at 708-223-8953. And of course, I love you guys' feedback. So please check in with me. Tap in with me on IG. That's Brandy 3YJ_. Yes. And I love you guys for watching. Continue to vibrate high. Continue to know who you are. You are a 9 ether being, a galactical human being. Love, peace, and honor. Until next time, people. Love you.